Only a political two-state solution will help respond to the legitimate aspirations of Israelis and Palestinians to live in peace and security.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Brothers and sisters, did you just hear that? You've heard it over and over and over again. We're going to address this. Today I'm going to address a statement made headlines around the world. The French foreign minister stood at the United Nations with the Saudi representative and many others, Qatar, and stated there is no alternative to the two-state solution. But is this true? Or is it part of a long colonial myth that has erased our history, silenced our Shariah, and buried the memory of Islamic justice in Palestine and the world over? Let us take a deep look into the history of Shariah, justice, to uncover this truth. From the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab, Palestine came under the rule of Islam. Muslims did not destroy churches, nor did they unalive civilians. In fact, when Umar ibn al-Khattab, Amir al-Mu'mineen, entered Jerusalem, he refused to even pray inside of the church of the Holy Sepulchre, so that Muslims would not take it up as a place of worship later. The Pact of Omar stated, their churches shall not be destroyed, their crosses shall not be removed, and they shall not be forced to change their religion. This wasn't just tolerance, no. This was Islamic justice, preserved under the Khalifa for 1,300 years, from the Umayyads, Abbasids, the Ottomans, etc. In Islamic law, land that once was part of the Muslim Ummah, it was Dar Islam, then it can never be given up to a disbeliever. It is a sacred trust, a waqf. Palestine, Bilad Sham, is a sacred trust. It can never belong to non-Muslims. It is against Islam to do so. Anyone who knows this, knows this. Those who don't, you just heard it. Look into it. Al-Maqdisi said, if the enemy seizes Muslim land, struggling in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes obligatory until it is returned. So how can any Muslim authority recognize the Zionist state, built on stolen land, mass graves, and colonial treachery? Let's be real. Let's be real. The two-state plan, this delusion, started with the UN Partition plan in 1947 and was pushed harder with the Oslo Accords in the 90s. But where has it led? What has it done? Has it been effective? No. Over 750,000 to 1 million Palestinians were ethnically cleansed during the Nakba. Millions remain as refugees. Gaza is a prison. The West Bank is a fragmented puppet zone. Their leader obeys everything that the enemy tells them to do. Israeli settlements, checkpoints, and walls dominate the land. The two-state delusion is not a path to peace. It is a mask over occupation. It is a delusion. It is an excuse. But Islam already gave the world a working model of justice in Palestine. When Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, rahimahullah, recaptured Jerusalem from the Crusaders in 1187, he did not unalive the civilians, even though the Crusaders had slaughtered tens of thousands in 1099 when they took it. He said, I will not soil my sword with blood of innocent people. Under Islamic rule, synagogues, churches, all were protected. Even Jews fleeing European persecution found safety in the Ottoman lands. And Allah has said in Surah Al-Ma'idah, interpretation and meaning, do not let the hatred of a people prevent you from being just. Be just. That is nearer to taqwa. When France or Britain says there's no alternative, what this actually means is no Islamic governance shall ever be allowed. Let us not forget, it was France and Britain who divided our lands after World War I. They signed the Sykes-Picot Agreement. Britain was given Palestine, and the Zionists were given it through the Balfour Declaration. And today, these same powers deny us our right to rule by Islam. They support regimes that normalize with Zionists. They fund occupation, and they silence resistance worldwide. Brothers and sisters, we reject the lie of the two-state delusion. We reject the false peace that it denies us, Shariah and dignity. We reject betrayal of those who surrender to occupation. Remember this, we reject that betrayal because we have al-wala and al-bara. It says in Surah Nisa, interpretation and meaning, verse 58, indeed, Allah commands you to render trust to whom they are due, and when you judge between people, judge with justice. The only real alternative is not a fantasy. It is a historical norm. 1,300 years of rule in Islam and justice. Proven. Tried and true. Justice will return to Palestine only when Islam returns, Shariah returns, and Caliphate returns. We must start the nucleus. May it begin soon. When the Ummah rises, this is when it will happen. And that is not a dream. It is a promise of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.